Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. For today's recipe, we're going to prepare tacos de chicharrón. Chicharrones are also referred to as pork cracklings, and they're made out of deep fried pig skin and fat. Hearing what they're made out of, it doesn't sound very appetizing, but once we're done with these are going to be super delicious. And not only that, these are very economical. For the amount of chicharrones that I'm making today, I spent $5. You can easily have a Taco Tuesday meal and feed a family of 5 or 6 for under $10. So if you would like to see how I prepare these delicious tacos de chicharrón, continue watching this video and let's get started. We're going to start out by dicing 3 pounds of pig fat. I'm going to slice them into long strips like these. We need the chicharrón to be small enough because we're going to use it to make tacos. If you're using it for something else, you can cut them into bigger strips. Slicing them into smaller pieces also helps the chicharrones cook a lot faster. And not only will you have some delicious chicharrones to enjoy, but you will also have lard to use for other dishes. When picking out the meat fat, you want to pick pieces that still have a little bit of meat left on them. That way your chicharrones can be nice and plump. You can normally find pig fat at your local butcher shop. This one I purchased at the butcher shop at my local grocery store. If they don't have them displayed, you can ask the butcher to give you a few pieces. And if they don't have them at your local butcher shop, you can go to the stores that cater to Mexican food, and 80 to 90% of the times they will have them displayed. If you live in Arizona, you can always find them at Food City, El Rancho, or El Supermarket. Those are the 3 main stores that cater to Mexican food here in Arizona. When we're done dicing the fat, I'm going to transfer it to a stock pot. I'm going to be using a stock pot because it's nice and deep, and since I'm making them inside, I don't want all that grease to splatter everywhere or on myself. When we used to make them in Mexico, we would make them outside over an open flame in a big pot, and my dad would stir it with a big spoon. From what I can remember, they used to take a long time to make. It seemed like a long time to me at the time, or either I was really hungry and I wanted them to be done already. Once we add them into the stock pot, I'm going to turn on the burner to a medium-high heat. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Once they get going, we're going to turn down the burner a little bit. I'm going to turn it down to a 4.5 on my digital stove, which is about a medium-low heat. And we're going to keep stirring often to make sure they cook evenly and to make sure they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. At first they're going to turn to a pale color, then they're going to start to turn to a light golden brown color. When you're stirring, be very careful because some of that grease can splatter. Once they start to turn a dark golden brown color, they're done. We're just going to remove them and place them on a baking sheet lined with a paper towel. This way some of the excess grease can soak into the paper towel as they're cooling down. The grease from the chicharrones, we're going to leave it in the stock pot until it cools down. Then we're going to transfer it to a container. The fat that was rendered from the chicharrones, you can use it to make other dishes that require pig fat. It's just like using bacon fat. When you make your refried beans, they give it that extra flavor. But if you don't have use for the pig fat, you can discard of it safely. You can enjoy them like this, but we're going to be making them in the red sauce for our tacos. We're going to set them aside while we prepare the chile for the sauce. We're going to need 4 Chile Guajillos and 6 Chiles de Arbol. The Chiles de Arbol I'm adding for that extra spice. But if you don't want yours too spicy, you can leave the Chiles de Arbol out or just add 1 or 2. The Chile Guajillos, I'm going to remove the stems, and I'm also going to remove the seeds and the vines from each one. We're also going to need 2 garlic cloves. These I'm just going to peel, and we're going to fry them with the peppers. We're also going to need a small white onion, roughly chopped, but that one we're going to add at the end. In a medium pan, we're going to heat up a small amount of vegetable oil, just enough to fry the peppers and the garlic. Once it's nice and hot, we're going to add in the peppers and the garlic. We're going to fry them on medium heat for about 2 to 3 minutes or until they're nice and soft. Make sure you keep a close eye on them during the process, turning them often and moving them around so they don't burn. After 3 to 4 minutes, remove them from the burner, and we're going to set them aside so they can cool down for a little bit before we add them into the blender. Once they completely cool down, transfer everything to the blender along with 1 cup of water to help blend the ingredients. Blend on high for a good minute or until you have a nice creamy sauce. You'll know it's ready because you will no longer see the big pieces of peppers. Once it's done, we're going to transfer it to the same pan we used to fry the peppers. You can add it directly into the pan or you can strain it before adding it. To remove the excess sauce that's left in the blender, I used half a cup of water and added it to the pan as well. Now I'm going to season with 1/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to mix it in. I'm not going to add any salt at this point because we did add salt to the chicharrones. But once we add them in, you can taste it, and if it needs more salt, we can add more salt. Now I'm going to add the chicharrones a little bit at a time. Once we have them all in the pan, we're going to move them around to get them submerged in the sauce. We're going to let it simmer on low-medium heat for about 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, we're going to add 1 small white onion roughly chopped, and we're going to move it around to mix it in with the chicharrones and the sauce. At this point, you can also taste it, and if it needs more seasoning, you can add more seasonings of your choice. With the seasonings that we use, this smells so delicious. I wish you could smell this. I hope you give this recipe a try. It's not just delicious, but it's also a very low budget meal. I spent under $10 to prepare this meal. Now that it's done, we're going to cover it to keep it warm until it's ready to serve. Once the pig fat cools down a little bit, you want to transfer it to a dish before it completely cools down because then it's going to get hard. I'm going to strain it into this glass bowl. Then I'm going to cover it and set it aside until we need it for other uses. Now we're going to prepare some jalapeno corn tortillas for the tacos. Place a couple of those jalapeno corn tortillas on the plate. Add a generous spoonful of the chicharrón mixture onto the tortilla. And you can top them off with any of your favorite toppings, cilantro, onion, radishes, or whatever your favorite toppings may be. Today we're only going to top them off with a little bit of queso cotija and sour cream. And the salsa of your choice. I hope you give this recipe a try because it's absolutely delicious. And if you do, let me know how you like it in the comments. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the little bell so you can get a notification each time I upload a new video. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much, and I'll see you on a different day with a different recipe. Thank you so much for watching.